In October 2018, the Gulf Coast braced for another hurricane. But what made landfall near Mexico Beach, Florida, wasn't just another storm. It was a meteorological hammer blow, a hurricane that exploded in intensity so rapidly, it stunned forecasters and redefined our understanding of just how powerful a storm can become at landfall. Michael was the third most intense continental U.S. landfall by pressure and fourth strongest by maximum sustained winds on record. Michael was also the most intense Florida Panhandle landfall in records dating to the mid-19th century. Welcome back. Today, we're revisiting Hurricane Michael. We'll trace its terrifying genesis, analyze its unprecedented rapid intensification, witness the catastrophic damage through the eyes of those who survived it, and ask the critical question, what did Michael teach us about the storms of the future? Chapter 1: A Monster's Rapid Birth. Michael began innocuously enough, a broad area of low pressure in the Western Caribbean in early October. But as it moved north into the Gulf of Mexico's bath-like waters, with little wind shear to tear it apart, it found the perfect recipe for explosion. Between October 7th and 10th, Michael underwent a historic period of rapid intensification. Its central pressure plummeted. Wind skyrocketed. It went from a tropical storm to a Category 4 in just 48 hours. And just hours before landfall, it crossed the final, fearsome threshold. At landfall near Mexico Beach, Florida, the National Hurricane Center estimated Michael's sustained winds at 160 miles per hour. But post-storm analysis of data, including from a courageous Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter mission, revealed the truth. Michael was upgraded to a Category 5 hurricane, with 162 miles per hour winds. It was the first Cat 5 to hit the U.S. since Andrew in 1992, and only the fourth on record. The pressure at landfall was the third lowest ever for a U.S. landfall. This wasn't just a major hurricane, it was a borderline worst-case scenario. Chapter 2: The Zone of Absolute Destruction. The damage was apocalyptic. Mexico Beach was essentially scoured. Storm surge, estimated at 15 to 20 feet, swept homes clean off their foundations. The force of the wind wasn't just breaking things, it was pulverizing them. Inland, the fury continued. The Florida Panhandle's vast timber forests looked like a giant had stomped on them, millions of acres snapped and uprooted. Communities like Panama City, Springfield, and Lynn Haven saw catastrophic structural damage. The wind field was so large, destructive winds reached into Georgia. Critical infrastructure was crippled. Tyndall Air Force Base was devastated. Hospitals were damaged. The power grid was obliterated for hundreds of thousands. This was a systemic collapse of an entire region. Chapter 3: The Human Cost and Response. Tragically, 74 lives were lost across several states, directly and indirectly due to Michael. Thousands were injured, and tens of thousands were instantly homeless. But in the aftermath, the response was monumental. The immediate challenge was search and rescue in a landscape where roads and landmarks had vanished. Then came the long, grinding recovery, a process that, for many, is still ongoing years later. Chapter 4: Michael's Lasting Lesson. So, what is Hurricane Michael's legacy? Beyond the heartbreaking statistics, it left the scientific and emergency management communities with stark lessons. Rapid intensification is the new nightmare. Michael is a prime case study. Storms can now jump multiple categories faster than evacuation orders can sometimes be processed. This is a growing trend in a warming world. Category 5 is not abstract, it's not just a number on a map. Michael proved a Cat 5 can hit outside the traditional peak season and in areas, like the Florida Panhandle, once considered less probable. Buildings codes matter. Until they don't, structures built to modern codes fared better, but the sheer force of a high-end Cat 5 challenges the very limits of our engineering. The inland threat is real, this wasn't just a coastal flood event. The hurricane-force winds traveled deep inland, causing billions in damage from fallen trees and power outages. Michael forced a fundamental reassessment of risk. It underscored that in the era of climate change, historical data may no longer be a reliable guide for what's possible. the unprecedented is becoming more precedented. Hurricane Michael was a turning point. It was a horrific tragedy for the communities it destroyed, and a sobering warning for every coastal region. As we rebuild and remember, the question it poses is urgent: are we preparing for the storms of the past, or the storms of the future?
Wow, roof coming apart.
Thanks for watching. If you found this retrospective important, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into weather and climate history. Share your memories of Michael in the comments below respectfully. Stay safe and stay informed.